Welcome to this chair-based joint-freeing yoga session. Now we're going to start by sitting down and aligning the feet. So get the feet parallel and the shins and knees directly over the heels. And dropping your arms down and starting with some shoulder rolls. So rolling the shoulders back and around, relaxing the hands, relaxing the fingers, and keeping your spine up nice and tall and straight. Now become aware of your breathing and change and roll your shoulders in the other direction. Keep noticing your breath. And then change and roll in the original direction again. Don't let your knees lean in and keep those feet parallel on the floor. Don't turn the feet out. Now keeping those shoulders all the way back to your spine, we're going to do some head turns. On an out breath, turning your head to one side. As you breathe in, pointing your nose forwards again. Now careful here that you don't tilt your head to the side. Keep the neck up nice and tall and straight on each side as you turn. Keep moving with your breath. Keep checking your shoulders or moving back away from your chest. And now next time you turn your face forward, we're going to do some wrist rolls. So circling in your wrists, nice big circles in one direction. And then rolling in the opposite direction. Make sure that you're leaning towards your back and not hunching the shoulders forwards. And circling again in the opposite direction. And now we're going to do some self-hugs. So bring your arms into a W shape. And as you breathe out, you're going to hug your arms around yourself. As you breathe in, pull arms back. So important here to work with your breath. Exhale, hug yourself. Inhale, pull the shoulders and elbows back. So this is really good for stretching across the upper back and through the shoulder blades. Opening the chest as the shoulders and the elbows go back. Just keep going. Out breath to hug the arms forward. In breath to pull the elbows and shoulders all the way back away from your chest. Just check those legs are still aligned. You haven't turned the toes in or out. And then dropping your arms down. And once more, going into some shoulder rolls. So in your own time, rolling for a few breaths in one direction, and then you'll change and roll in the other direction. Now relaxing the arms down, check the alignment of your legs again. And then we're going to bring one arm across the chest. And you can hold onto the wrist and pull the arm across. Back up nice and straight and tall. You can turn your face to look in the direction of your hand. So a little bit of a twist going on here. And then releasing, and we take it to the other side. Pulling the other arm across. And then maybe turning your head to look in that direction. But only turn the head if that feels comfortable on your neck. And releasing your arm. And we're going to take it to the other side again, but this time holding over the elbow or the upper arm, either with your hand or hooking the elbow underneath and then stretching that arm that is going across your chest, stretching it straight. Lock the elbow. And again, maybe you want to turn a little bit with your chest towards the side. And releasing out and taking it to the other side. Other arm pulls across, either holding with your hand or hooking the elbow underneath your straight arm. But now really stretch that arm straight. Don't have a little bit of a bend in the elbow. Keep locking the elbow so that you're not straining on the joint. And then releasing out again. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper into the shoulder stretch. So you're going to take your arms back behind you, hook your fingers onto the chair back, and lean forwards into your chest so that you can feel that stretch in the fronts of the shoulders. Be nice and heavy in your feet. Again, check the alignment of the feet. Feet are parallel. Don't lift your head and look forward, and don't tuck your chin and look back at your chest. Keep your neck in the same diagonal plane as your spine is leaning right now. And then coming all the way up. And now back up nice and straight for some chin pulls. So you're going to pull the chin back up the jawline towards the earlobes and then pressing the chin forwards. Drawing all the way back and pressing forwards. So not going into a turtleneck here at all, keeping this very small, just drawing chin backwards and forwards. Keeping spine up completely erect the whole time, shoulders to spine as you do this. And next time you pull the chin back, you hold it there. And we're going to move into some side stretches. So still keeping the feet aligned. You hook your right fingers over the side of your chair and tilt your body over towards the left. Keeping the shoulders back away from your chest, stretch your left fingertips down towards the floor on the left. Now don't let the knees tilt in, don't change your feet, keep those feet aligned. Pulling onto the right fingers, leaning all your weight into your left side. And then coming up to center, hook the left fingers over the side of the chair and tilt over to the other side, reaching down with the right fingers towards the floor. And just careful to not let the left shoulder come forwards. Keep it moving back away from your chest. And then coming up to center, hook the right fingers and stretch it over to the left. So really pull onto the right hand. Again, shoulders move back towards your spine and stretching down long through the left fingers. And lifting up to center and take it off to the right again. Pull firmly into the chair with your left hand. Stretch long for the floor with the right arm. We lift up to center and take it once more to the left. Hook the right fingers and lean over. Now check those legs, that the feet are still parallel, knees are still over your heels. You haven't changed the legs. Keep them aligned. And then coming up, and last time over to the other side. And coming back up to center. Once again, take a few shoulder rolls here. So you're really releasing into those shoulder joints. We change and circle in the other direction. And once more change and circle back. And then keeping shoulders back, we're going to alternate knee to chest. So bringing one knee up and then taking foot to the ground, changing to the other side. So this is for mobilizing the hip joints. And if you can hear, you're moving with a breath. And as your foot goes down to the floor, you want to place it down really carefully. So we're still working with alignment here. Make sure the toes point straight forward each time you place your foot on the ground. And try not to round your back, keeping your back up nice and straight and tall. Keep the shoulders moving back away from your chest. Next time you lift your knee, we're going to hold it there. Keep taking the shoulders back. Keep lifting your chest up high. And make sure the foot that's on the floor is aligned. Toes point straight forward, heel directly under your knee. And taking your foot down and changing to the other side. Once you're lifting that leg up, lift your chest even higher. Keep lengthening up through your spine. Make sure that you are not rounding your chest and your back forwards. Shoulders all the way back and lifting up out of your lower back. And placing right foot on the ground. Now we're going to be moving into a forward fold. So you're going to take your feet out wider than your hips, but still make sure that your knees are over your heels. Don't lean them out and don't lean them in. Just keeping knees over the heels, shins parallel to each other. Feet are wider than hips. And then you're going to lean forwards and just hang yourself down on the insides of the legs. Or you might have your side waists resting a little bit on your thighs, and that's okay. And you might not be able to fold down as far as I'm going. Maybe you need to rest your chest on a pillow across your thighs. But you want the feet wider than the hips, and you can let your head hang. Try to relax your arms. Try to relax your shoulders. And then also checking in with the muscles in your face. Relax your forehead, your eyes, cheeks and mouth. And now slowly curling yourself all the way back up to a straight back. Then stepping your feet in back to hip width apart, but keeping the feet parallel. And we're going to go into a shoulder exercise. It goes like this. It's called Y, W, L, here's the L, and T. Okay, so you're going to keep the shoulders back and the shoulder blades into your spine. And from here, lift your arms into a Y shape. And the elbows can be a little bit bent, but the back is up straight. Now, bending the elbows down and taking your arms into a W shape. So palms face forward, fingers are spread, shoulders move back away from the chest. You keep your elbows bent, but now hug your upper arms into your body, come into the L shape in the arms. And taking the shoulders even further back here. Now you're to keep those shoulders back as you stretch your arms out into a T shape. Really reach into fingers. And then drop the arms down and just let them rest for a moment. We're going to do that again. So we start with a Y shape in the arms, and this is a really good way to release tension in the chest, the shoulders, upper back, and the neck. From here, bending the elbows, dropping them lower than shoulders, so your arms are in a W. Move the upper arms back towards your back, and lift your chest a little bit higher. Then we're coming into the L shape, dropping the elbows into your sides, forearms parallel to the floor. Squeeze the shoulders even further back, and you keep them squeezing back as you stretch the arms straight into a T shape. You lift your chest a little bit higher to lengthen your spine up. and then drop the arms down and just rest for a moment. Just shaking out the hands or rolling the wrists. And now stepping your feet in to touch each other, knees together, squeeze the knees in tight. We're to come into a forward fold again. So leaning forwards onto your arms, on your legs. And then from here we're to go a little bit deeper, taking your chest to your thighs, hanging your arms down and letting the head drop. So again, you can also rest a cushion or two on your legs here and lean your chest onto the pillows. But let those arms get really heavy. So this is a really nice stretch out for your whole spine and all the back muscles and the neck, and a really good release for the shoulders and the chest. So notice your breath here. Soften into your breathing as you stay in the forward bend. And rolling yourself all the way up to a nice tall straight back. We're taking those feet out again, hip width, shins parallel, knees over heels. One more time, arms up to a Y shape. Once you've lifted the arms and the elbows can be bent a little bit, pull the upper arms back towards your back. We bend the elbows into your W shape. Take the shoulders a little bit further back. And then dropping elbows down to your sides, we come into an L. Lift the chest a little bit higher. And from here, arms straight out into your T shape. Arms parallel to the floor, but pulling shoulders all the way back to your spine. And releasing the arms down. And now we're going to take a twist, so you're to turn sideways on your chair. You can bring your feet to touch each other and the knees to touch each other. Make sure your shins are directly over the heels. Don't have heels back behind the knees. And then you're going to turn to your right and hook your right hand over the other side of the chair, left hand over your right thigh or knee. Now pull into your hands. You can look forwards or you can turn your head to the side that your chest is twisting. Do what is comfortable for your neck, but keep lifting up. Each time you breathe in, lift your chest, lift your upper back away from your lower back. So your top of the head grows taller with each in-breath. Make sure the knees don't come apart and the feet stay together. Keep breathing. And then untwist, chest faces the knees. Walk your feet around to the other side of your chair. We bring the feet and the knees together. Heels under the knees. And then we're turning towards the left thigh. Take your left hand back behind you. Hook your fingers over the other side of the chair. Hook the right hand over the left thigh or knee. You pull onto your hands, and it's okay if your elbows bend here. Turn your head in the direction that feels right for your neck. And then keep lifting. Each time you breathe in, grow a little bit taller. Don't let the knees or the feet come apart. Squeeze the calves and the thighs towards each other. Keep noticing your breathing. And then turning your chest in the direction of your knees. And we walk the feet forwards to the front of your chair again. We align those feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. And one more time, lifting arms up to your Y shape. Let the shoulders sink and feel heavy. Then bending the elbows, coming to W shape in the arms, palms forward, but shoulders all the way back. Keeping the shoulders all the way back as you bring your elbows into your sides, L shape in the arms. Lift the chest a little bit higher. Keep taking shoulders and upper arms towards your back as you reach your arms out into a T shape. And check those legs are still aligned. Feet are still aligned as well. Keep those shoulders back as the arms release down. And now we're going to come up to standing. And you're going to be doing a standing twist with one foot on the chair. So you can hold onto the chair back. Bring your right foot up onto the chair. Make sure your heel is directly under your right knee. And then your standing foot, check that the toes point straight forwards. So feet are still parallel to each other. Now, wrapping your left hand over your right leg or holding onto the back of the chair, and you can bring your right hand back behind you, or you can bring your right hand onto your right hip. So this is not so much about the arm as it is the shoulder. Now, you can turn your head in 3 directions here. Do what is comfortable for your neck. So looking forwards in the direction of your right toes, or in the direction your chest is facing, or back over your right shoulder. Make sure that your right knee stays over your heel. Don't lean it or pull it or push it off to one side. And then untwisting yourself and bringing your right foot down to the ground. Or change to the other side. So you might want to step to the other side of the chair if you want to hold onto the chair back. And then wrapping your right hand over your left leg. Left arm behind your left hand onto the left hip. And turning your head in the direction that feels right for your neck right now. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed and the neck muscles soft. Make sure that the feet are still parallel. You're not leaning the knee over to one side or the other. Keep lifting your chest up higher each time you breathe in, so your back is nice and straight and tall. And then untwisting your chest and stepping your foot down to the ground. Now this next part you can do with your hands on the seat of the chair or on the back of the chair, or you can use a table or a counter. So we're going to step the feet wider than the hips. Make sure your feet are parallel, toes point in the direction of your chest. And then depending on the tightness in your back and in your hamstrings, either resting your hands on the chair or forearms on the chair or table. Okay, table is really good for this as well. And now we're going to bend and straighten the knees. So as you breathe out, you bend. As you breathe in, you straighten. And as the knees bend, you push them out towards the feet. So don't lean the knees in as they bend. Try to keep your back nice and flat here. So you might find that you need to go a little bit higher. That's when you use a table or a countertop. Or you can be on your hands on the chair seat with the arms straight. Okay, let's hold that stretch. So you might find that as you straighten the legs up, they don't get completely straight. That doesn't matter. And notice your breathing. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Keep squeezing the belly tight. And then we're coming all the way up to standing. Step the feet in. And again, either using a chair or hands on a table or a counter. We're going to come into a runner's lunge. So stepping your left leg back so that your right knee bends with your hands on your support. And you'll see that my back foot is turned into a 45-degree angle and my back heel is on the ground. So back leg is straight, front knee is bent at a right angle. Make sure that your knee is over your heel so the knee joint is protected. And then you'd really push back into that back foot. So sometimes this is better to do with hands on a table or a counter or even on a wall. A chair can tip over. So if you're really pushing into your hands to get that deep pressure into the back foot, so you're getting your really good stretch here, and it can tip the chair over. Careful of that. Okay, stepping the left foot forwards, taking the right leg back. Make sure your right foot is not behind your left foot. It's feet in line with the hips. And make sure that the back foot is now turned in a little bit so you can get the heel on the floor but not behind the toes. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent, front knee is over your front heel. And now try and push that back heel down hard into the floor. So the back leg is working stronger than the front leg. And you're pushing quite firmly into your hands. The whole body leans at a diagonal angle to the floor. Keep stretching into that back leg, squeezing into your right heel. Keep checking you're not leaning your left knee in or out. And then coming up to standing. You rest your hands on a counter or a table or hands on the wall. You stretch the top of the foot out. So you take your top of your left foot to the ground. So you're kind of pointing the toes like a ballerina's foot. And you can bend the knees. That'll take you in deeper to the stretch on the top of the foot and the shin. And then changing over to the other side. So again, the knees can bend or you can have the standing leg straight. Just play around with the sensation and find the good stretch for you, for the top of the ankle and the top of the foot. And then stepping feet parallel. And now we're going to step the left foot straight back and you come onto your toes. So the left knee points forwards in the same direction as your right toes. Push back and down with the left heel. So you may or may not be able to get your heel down to the ground. Doesn't matter. Now this time it's different from your runner's lunge. We're just pushing that back heel towards the ground. And maybe the front knee is straight. Maybe it's a little bit bent. If you can get it straight, go for it. If you can't, it doesn't matter. Keep trying to push your left heel down straight behind your left toes. And then stepping the left foot forwards, and we change it over to the other side. Right leg steps straight back, straighten out the front leg if you can, and try and push the right heel down towards the floor straight behind the right toes. You'll feel it's a really good stretch for the calf. If you need to, your left knee bends again. So it's different from the last time you did your runner's lunge. That last time back heel was turned in and down. This time it's straight back behind the toes with the knee pointing forwards. And then stepping the right foot up. Now we're going to stretch the top of the foot again. So step your left foot back with the toenails facing the floor. Knees can be straight or bent. The more you bend your knees, the deeper the stretch will become over the top of the ankle and the foot. And then stepping left foot forwards, and we change over to the other side. Right leg steps back, toenails on the floor, maybe bending the knees if that feels good for you. It's really getting into the top of the ankle. It's a place in the leg that we tend not to stretch out. It stays contracted all day, so it tends to be very tight there. And and stepping your right foot forwards. We're going to be coming down to seated again. We're going to do some controlled breathing. So just like all your other yoga, you want to align the feet, get the feet a little bit apart, hip distance apart, feet parallel, and we're going to come into some lower rib breathing. So you're to bring your hands onto the lower ribs, so not up onto your chest. So your baby fingers are on the very bottom ribs. And now just focusing into the breath and feeling the rib cage move. And we want to get some really deep breaths so that you can feel your hands part and expand as you breathe in. As you exhale, you can gently press the palms in towards each other and get those fingertips together. And if you look really carefully, you'll see that as I breathe in, my fingertips part. As I breathe out, they come back together to touch. So we're really trying to get as much breath into those bottom ribs and the bottoms of the lungs as you can. A lot of us tend to only breathe into the tips of the lungs in the top of the chest, not getting into the full breath capacity. So as you breathe in, we're feeling for expansion of the rib cage sideways out towards the upper arms. And then gently squeezing in with the palms to help the breath out. And now you can start to give your breath a count. And you count the length of the breath in and then counting the length of the breath out. So you start at the count of 1 as you breathe in. Maybe you'll count up to 3 or 4, maybe up to 7 or 8, or maybe even more, depending on you. And then you start again as you breathe out with a count of 1. And if you are able to, you want to try and get the length of the in-breath and the length of the out-breath the same. Make sure that the breathing here doesn't feel strained. Okay, now we're going to do some belly breathing. So sliding your hands down onto your tummy. So palms are below the ribs, but exactly the same as you were just doing. As you breathe in, we want to feel the hands expand and part and fingers part away from each other. As you breathe out, gently squeezing your tummy to help the breath out. And you're still working with your count. Now, when we belly breathe, we can get a lot more breath in. So you might find that your breaths get a little bit longer and a little bit deeper as you focus more on the belly breath. Stay with your count, counting the length of the breath in, counting the length of the breath out. And just check in with your legs, make sure feet and knees are still aligned. Shoulders are back away from your chest. The back is up nice and tall and straight. Just keeping your face relaxed. And we're going to keep with this deep belly breath, this full expansion into the tummy and the ribs. You're welcome to keep your hands on your belly or hands on the ribs or resting hands on the thighs and stay with the counted breath. So we're helping to increase your lung capacity. We're also working with your nervous system through this focused breathing to relax tension in the body, to relax and calm the mind. Keeping your lungs and your chest healthy. Keep counting the breath. And now we're going to do some wrist rolls. So rolling the wrists around. Circling them in the other direction. And then resting the arms down. And one last time, taking shoulder rolls. Rolling in the opposite direction. And one last time, circle the other way. And keeping your shoulders back away from your chest. Namaste.